Okay, pre-calculus, let's go over information off of a graph. Okay, when you look at a graph, the first thing you should do is spend some time noticing the things. Okay, so I see that there's an asymptote right here. Let's put some numbers on. -1, 2, 3, this is -4, 5, 6, 7, -8. Okay, so this is going to be an asymptote at x equals -9. This is also an intercept here at 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's a point at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so it does cross the axis in several points. I notice that there's a hole in the graph right here. Okay, at 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I notice that the graph goes up, up, and away. Sometimes I like to exaggerate the graph. Okay, up to the right forever. This is an asymptote, so the graph is going to go down, but it's never going to touch the value of -9. Okay, so spend some time just kind of getting a hang of the numbers. Now, the first question here says, where is f of x less than 0? Okay, and less than 0 means that you're going to be under the x-axis. Okay, so what helps some people is to totally cover up the graph that is above. Okay, you're not allowed to see any of this graph. You're not allowed to see any of that graph. Only the graph that's less or under. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and highlight all this graph here. This branch is under. Okay, here's another branch of graph that's under. And then here is another branch of graph that's less. The question is, what about these points right here that touch the x-axis? Since it says less, we're not allowed to equal them. So maybe what I'll do, let's just move this one down a little bit more, is put a clear open bubble there. Okay, the reason that I'm putting open bubbles here is because the problem said less. They did not say that I was able to include that point. Okay, when you have an open bubble, we're going to use parentheses. 1, 2, 3 highlights, 3 sections of answer. Okay, the first one starts at -9. And this branch goes all the way until you get to -8 with parentheses. Okay, and then union. Now I got to say this branch from -4 to +1. Okay, but since they're open bubbles, okay, I have to use parentheses. They don't want me to equal the x-intercepts. Okay, and then union. So it's like domain, but only for the pieces that are below, from parentheses 5 until I get to 10 parentheses. Okay, now how does that change if it says less than or equal to? Okay, the only difference is now they want us to equal these points, so these would be filled in points, closed bubbles, fill them in. Okay, so can I include -9? No, the graph does not touch -9, so that would still be a parentheses till we get to -8, but that would be a bracket. Okay, and then from -4 to 1, I could include those points because right here it says equal to 0, so they want you to include the x-intercepts where it touches. So brackets, -4 to 1, brackets, and then union, same thing here, brackets 5 to 10. Okay, I really love this highlighter. I just think it's so weird that it came with a green cap. All right, now the same problem wants us to look at where is f of x greater than 0. So let's go ahead and cover up everything that's less. Okay, can't see my numbers if I do that. Okay, or you could highlight. Some people like to use the highlighter pen. Okay, so from here to here, this part is greater, this part of the graph is above, okay, this part's above, don't fill in an empty hole, okay, this whole branch forever is above, okay, and the thing here is, it says greater, so we're not allowed to use these points. These would be open bubbles right there, greater, greater, okay. How many pieces of graph do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pieces, so we're going to have 4 answers. Okay, so this first piece right here starts at -8 until we get to -4 with parentheses, since it's an open bubble. Okay, number 2, union. this piece right here goes from parentheses 1 until we get here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. There's an open bubble there, 1 to 4. Remember, whenever we have a hole in the graph, you have to stop and say don't use 4, and then continue on from 4 until we get to 5. Okay, why is 5 a parentheses? Because it says greater. And there's this last piece over here, starting at, that's a 10, okay? Starting at 10, an x value of 10. Does the graph use 11, 12, 13, 14? The graph goes forever to the right, so we'll put a parentheses on an infinity. Okay. How does that change things if it says that they want you to have the graph be greater than or equal to 0? So if they want you to equal the x-intercepts, then we'll go ahead and fill in these points right here. These are going to be equal. You're allowed to touch the 0. Okay, so for this first branch, it's going to be brackets, -8 to -4. Okay, there's still piece 2. Here's piece 2. From brackets 1 to 4. Now, should 4 get a bracket? No, that's still a hole, so we're still going to use parentheses on him. Okay, here's piece 3, starting at parentheses 4, because he's a hole, all the way till you get to value 5, but 5 I can use, that gets a bracket. Okay, and then piece 4 way over here starts at 10. 10 is going to get a bracket. Okay, and what do we always put on infinities? Parentheses. Okay, what do we do when the graph is empty? Okay, we say no solution. You can use that symbol, or you can actually write out the words no solution. Okay, don't say nothing or empty. Let's use the proper wording there. Thanks, guys.